Hello humans, Master Dinnerflax here, and today I'll be going over that Tellarknight deck everyone was so interested in earlier. Um, it plays very different from Deneb Set 5, Drink Glass, and Pass. This has a lot of interesting combos, and I'm going to go over quite a few plays in the deck, and quite a few card choices too, because there are some very weird ones in here. So let's get started. Altair and Deneb, the two most powerful. Altair is actually far more powerful in this deck than Deneb is, but you still need 3 Deneb because Search and level 4 fodder. Altair, like I said, I'm going to show you some of the things you can do. Deneb, Summon, Search, simple enough, doesn't restrict you to anything, very powerful. Serious, a very hefty pot of avarice. Um, you have to shuffle 5 Tellarknights into the deck to draw 1 card. While it seems like a lot and it seems underwhelming, it's actually very good in here because you just need to recycle so much when you're getting your plays off, and as long as you have infinite resources, it's impossible to lose with a deck like this. And this is a card that does it. Even with 2 Daigusto Emerald in here, it's still a very powerful search target. Unkalai, not very powerful, but it has some combos in here with Soul Charge, and it's just a good body when you have nothing else to summon and it's a deck thinner. So very good. Vega is probably the most powerful of these 4, but you only play 1 because you never want to draw it because it's completely useless to draw on its own. But summoning it from the deck in a few of the combos is insanely powerful. We got Zifraxiton. It's kind of meh. It's not a warrior, so you can't search it with Rhoda, and its effect isn't as helpful as the other one, but it's a high skill that you can search, which I found very important. Um, Too bad you can only Pendulum Summon Tellarknights in this deck, but sometimes you just got to get 3 level 4s on field, and I'll explain why soon. The Star Shifts, very obvious. Sticks and chairs, chair hype. You get to search when you have another chair, you just get to go off, draw all the cards you want. It's insane. The only unfortunate part is you have to draw 2 of cards that aren't searchable in your deck, which is unfortunate. But the even if you just pendulum summon, Scepter still has a powerful effect, and you can always just pendulum summon these. So still very good. Ariadne, very broken in here. You get to pop it with Stick, get a search, get to pop it with Luster right there, get a search and another scale. Get to pop it with Deltaros. Very, very powerful card. Searches you these cards, which are the most powerful cards in your deck, and these two. We got Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. Um, this is why I'm playing Foolish Burial and Dragon Shrine. Foolish Burial is good on its own, but Dragon Shrine dumps you this, gets a level 4 body, searches a scale, and very, very good. Very powerful in here. You need a card like this. The other scale, it doesn't matter. It's just a scale 0. It actually really sucks to draw, but what do you do? And then BLS. Surprisingly, I actually use this quite a bit, and I found it very helpful against True Dracos because a lot of your cards, they kind of float in and out over and over again. And having a BLS to deal with a masterpiece is very, very good. Um, there are a few times where it just doesn't pay off, but there's also a lot of times where it does pay off, and that's why I like it in here. Dragon Shrine, kind of already explained. You just send this, it'll summon itself if there's no other monsters on field, and then you get the Scale Search, level 4 body that you haven't even normal summoned. Very, very good. Duelist Alliance, if you control a scale. Actually, what I learned is if your opponent controls a scale, you can also search Luster, or you can search Pendulum Rising, which is far worse than Luster, but there's a few plays you can do. You can turn like one of your underwhelming like level 4 searcher, just weaker searcher, and turn this to search a scale and turn it into that to search another scale. Or you can also do it with stick and things like that. Very, very good. Um, Rhoda obvious. Soul Charge, very good. Foolish, very good. And the best card, I already explained this. If you're a Tellarknight player, you know what this card does, but it's actually far better in here, and I'm going to explain very soon. Then 2 Solemn Strike, because you don't want the Ariadne to just fizzle. Extra deck. Let's get into the most powerful monster in your deck. Set Stellarknight Deltaros. And what this card does is, while it has XE materials, your opponent cannot respond to a normal or special summon. So that's insane. The only thing you can do to a summon at this point is you have to negate his summon. Afterwards, nothing's going to happen to him. That's really cool. It was better back then before Strike came out, but still now that's pretty convenient because a lot of players are going back to Floodgate Trap Hole. Oh, excuse me. Once per turn, you can detach material to target a card on the field, destroy it. Very good, and I'm going to explain why it's good in just a moment. And finally, this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. You can special summon a Tellarknight from your hand or deck. Here are your targets. Turn 1 with Deltros. You target Ariadne or itself. Now you're like, what? Well, because it's a Dante, actually kind of more powerful Dante, you'll summon Altair from deck, or this, if you have Altair in hand, which you'll sometimes do if you use a Deneb, you'll summon this, revive this back, which will revive that, which will happen from that, and you get a floater on field, and you get another XE, because this one, unlike Trevere, it doesn't need an XE material to float, and it can float multiple times per turn. So it's kind of like just a little more powerful Seer Dante loop, which is really good with this counter trap card, because you negate, destroy, draw 1 card, so you break even. Deltaros activates, which will summon this for a +1, which will bring that to this for a +2, and if you do it again, draw 1, float into Deneb, get an Altair search, and then you went +4 by negating your opponent's cards. Yeah. Also, destroying itself is very important because it gets it out of the extra monster zone. So you can pop it, destroy it, Vega from deck, summon Altair from hand, summon this, so you have a floater on board, and you can make like Tornado Dragon or Daigusto Emerald to get you an extra draw. Very, very powerful. Then we got these 3, the other Tellarknight extra deck monsters. These 2 are just for emergencies. You don't make them very often, but having the option in your extra deck is very crucial. Ouroboros, you make as like rank 3 just in case. You don't always make it, but sometimes it can come up. Tornado Dragon I already explained. 2 Daigusto Emerald I already explained, but I always say 2 Daigusto Emeralds in the extra deck is infinite Daigusto Emeralds. So yeah, uh, the Utopia package, just simple. Castel, Majester Paladin, I've never made it, but it can sometimes come up. Maybe? I can't tell you actually. Then Castel, obviously. Oh, I already explained. Kagaga Cowboy. I have burned a lot of people for game, and it's better than a Shlom because I really want my extra deck monsters to do the burn damage if I can, and I don't just want to draw a. I don't want to draw a glorified Ukazi, honestly. And then Decode Talker. Like I said, your Deltaros is float. So floating, make a link and then float into more monsters that could either revive it or just make another one is really good. Side deck, not too important. Only thing of interest is enemy controllers, which kind of work like the alphas, tributing off your Deltaroses to interrupt your opponent, which in turn will revive it. So that's really cool. Um, and that's about it. Thank you all for watching. The reason I even made this deck is because I wanted to play Tellarknights, but the way people are playing it now is actually just so incredibly boring. And not just boring, but not good. But it's so incredibly boring that there's no reward for even winning the game with it. So I just like, if there's another way to play this, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll just stop. And I found it, and this was it. It actually helped me more with the matchup I was struggling against than it didn't. It's not just a gimmick. It actually proved very powerful. And for those who are wondering, well, this doesn't look like the deck you played on stream. Well, this one is. But that this one has fallen kind of out of time because I've been working with the deck more and more, obviously. But thank you all for watching, and remember, Master Dinnerflax will take your soul.